Hi everybody, Bobby Ogilvy, Project Manager and Professional Coach. So for my TEDx talk in April 2017, I'd like to talk about teams of the future and particularly what that means for the notion of self-leadership. So we know that competitive advantage is no longer just about having a product or service which no one else has. Products can be quickly replicated. That's part of the philosophy of Agile, is that you can quickly sense what's going on in the environment and then execute swiftly to do that. So Agile itself is a better way of operating, but it also means that because you're constantly sensing what's going on in the environment, you can't just rely on some old way of doing something and say, great, I don't have to try anymore. What actually makes Agile quite good is that it forces your teams to operate better, more efficiently. It forces them to increase their communication skills and get a better sense of their capacity and how much workload they can bite off. More importantly, it forces them to deal with the client, get user or get market, get product feedback, and that's really the iterative cycle which allows them to conceive some solution, conceive some way of improving something, test it, get feedback, and let that become part of the iterative loop, which allows that to keep happening. The more we can do that, the better. We also know that long-term strategy planning doesn't work or doesn't add anything. 5-year plans don't help. All you need to do is basically a few times a year have some planning sessions. So if you maybe on a quarterly basis, and they create enough advantage in and of themselves. You don't need this super long master plan. Some of you may also be familiar with this concept of transformational leadership, and that is that part of the manager or the leader's role is to bring out people's best abilities, train and develop your people. That also then means that you can delegate to them and scale up over time. That's part of the reason you're doing this, to increase capacity, which means you need to create a culture of trust to allow this to happen. So what does this mean for competitive advantage of the future? Our organizations are going to become actually more self-organizing, less about this leader or manager telling us what to do, and more that we become so ingrained with what needs to happen, what's going on with our team, and the processes of how to operate effectively, that the organizations are running themselves. And for a lot of us, that might be super liberating, and it is. And for some of us, it may freak us out. It also means that on a very individual level that we need to start conceiving leadership of less about this people influence or this super strategy question and more of a personal question of how do I bring out my own best qualities? How do I lead bringing out my own best performance? And that's really what the future of competitive advantage is about.